Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to our YouTube. We appreciate you being here. I'm Brian Horton, owner and educator of BK Forex Academy, and my wife. We are here to talk about pullbacks. What are pullbacks? How to identify pullbacks? And we're going to talk about the three types of pullbacks you need to understand in order to make a successful trade. We want to get in at the best possible price, whether we're buying or selling. And in order to do that, we have to trap price. Now, how do you trap price? I'm going to go ahead and show you that by using a few things that I like to do by identifying that and looking at pullbacks. So go ahead and stay tuned. Right after this, let's check it out. Okay, so let's first talk about the three different types of pullbacks that you need to understand and identify in order to be successful. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this little trend here. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and draw a trend. Then we have a pullback, and a pullback is nothing more than little short bursts of the opposite direction of a trend, and it's easily identifiable just like this. Okay, so we go up again, then we see a pullback. And then we go up one more time, for example, and then we have a bigger pullback. So these are the three different types of pullbacks, okay? One, we have a small pullback right here. All right, I'm going to put S for small. And then we have a medium-sized pullback. All right, my crazy M. And then we have a large pullback. Looks just like kind of like a mountain here. All right, so we have our large pullback, easily identifiable. Now, why is this important? It's important to identify this because it will tell you which way price is going. This is one indicator that will tell you which way price is going. So, for example, we have a long push up here, and that's important. We have to have that first initial push up here to show you that buyers, in this case, is very strong. Now, when you have a small pullback, as I put here, then we know that this is still a strong trend. Okay, we have a long push followed by a small pullback, and a small pullback is nothing more than about 25%, maybe 33% retracement. Okay, so we identify that. And once we identify that, before we identify that, we need to know, I'm going to draw a line right here, right where this support level is. We need to know where the support level is. Okay, so we have another strong push. Now we are showing that, hey, we are in an uptrend. We're in an uptrend because price has pushed past this previous resistance level. So when price has gone up, it pushed past this previous resistance level and it's come down. Now we see this pullback here touching this area here. Now this is a new resistance level. So at this point, we can start to draw our trend line from the bottom of the trend to, let's say, here, and we're going to push it up. So now we can draw a trend line, and we see that, hey, price is respecting our trend line. It's above this previous level here, which is now support. It didn't quite go down. And so what makes it a medium pullback is that it retraces back anywhere between 50 to 70% retracement. Okay, it doesn't quite go back down to this previous support here, the initial support, but it goes above or it ends above previous resistance. Okay, now it's a new support. Price goes up even further for the large pullback, and large pullback usually goes back to the previous resistance here. So I can actually pull this down a bit. So let's say price goes here, and let's say it doesn't pass this area here, the support area. So this will be considered a large pullback. So a large pullback goes anywhere between 80 to 100% retracement back to the support area. Okay, so what is this telling us here? So we know a small pullback showing that this is a big trend. This is a strong trend. Now, small, medium, and large does not necessarily have to go in this order. Sometimes you see small at the top, medium at the top or bottom, and large at the bottom. But we want to identify what trend it is, and sometimes it's hard to identify if you're in an uptrend or a downtrend until you figure out the second pullback. Okay, so that's first lesson. Now let's go ahead and look at a live chart and mark that up and just kind of compare for what we've gone through so far. Okay, so now we have the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. So we're going to mark this chart up and just kind of take a look and see what we've learned based on what we've gone through before with the new chart or with the real chart. So we have the bottom of a trend here. And so we're going to mark that. We're going to pull it all the way up here. And we see this pullback right here. Now, is this a large pullback, a medium pullback, or a small pullback? And I'll give you guys a few seconds just to kind of determine that. And while we do that, I'm going to go ahead and draw my trend line. Okay. All right. So is this a large, small, or a medium pullback? Okay. Now we want to grab our Fibonacci tool. We want to grab from the bottom of our trend. Okay. All the way up to the peak there. And we are at a 61, between 61 and 75% retracement. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, medium is anywhere between 50 to 75% retracement. Okay, so that will be considered a medium pullback here. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. And we see price goes down and then it comes back up. And what happens? It actually retests and revisits our previous peak here. Okay, so this tells us as traders that this price is significant to buyers and sellers, because every time buyers hit here, it has gone down. Buyers hit here again. Sellers said, nope, we don't like that price, or we like that price. We're going to go ahead and sell it. And then here we see that price comes back and retests. We see this wick here and it comes back down. It still respects our trend line. It hasn't touched it, but now we can easily identify an uptrend because price has gone above that support or that resistance, making it now support. Okay, so it's gone up. So now we can confirm our trend line. All right, we're going to stretch this baby out. So trapping price is ideal for professional traders. How do we trap price? Okay, so now we see our pullbacks. Let me go ahead and finish marking our pullback. So we go back down here. It doesn't quite go as far down as here. And then it goes back up. So now we see a small pullback. This is where price is currently at as of today. So what are we going to do? Oftentimes traders who like to teach want to say, okay, we see what happened and this is why it happened. But now we're going to actually look at live data to predict what happened so you guys can see it live, and then in the future it should happen the way we want it. Now, is it 100%? No, but just like any trading, however, by using data, by looking at previous support and resistance, we can get a higher percentage of chance that price will go our way. All right, so we see a small pullback here, but we don't know how far. Now, judging from previous support and resistance, I'm going to look back for clues. I have my red line here. Remember, this price is really important to buyers and sellers. So I can predict that price will come down to this area here, or it can come down and respect our trend line, either one. If you were to sell now, I would put a sell in now and get out at this level here just to be safe. All right. So this is considered a pullback. This is how we predict price. Remember, these areas are important to buyers and sellers. Let me go ahead and grab this here. So we see that this price is important here. So I'm going to just mark this so that you can see it here and easily identify it. So this is important to buyers and sellers. Okay. So where price is at, I can predict that price will at least pull back to this area in which buyers and sellers will start to fight again and determine who's the strongest. All right. So how many pips would that be? Let's take a look. So where price is currently at now to about here, that is about 35 pips. Now, if for some reason price happens to go further, and let's say from here to our trend line, we're going to go over to the right. If it goes this way, that'll be about 66 pips. Now, remember, we're on the daily chart here. So we're on the daily chart, and we can kind of get an estimate of how long that will take. That can take it can touch our first take profit in about a day and our second in about 2 days if you decide to sell and wait that long. All right. And then after that, we will predict that price will continue to go up. So we'll continue to predict that price will go up, respect our trend line, and head upwards this way. For how long? Now, remember, if price pull back here, that will be considered either a medium pullback or a small pullback. So remember, just use your Fibonacci retracement tool to determine that, but it will still respect our trend line and head up. All right. Why did I pick this area for a take profit? All right, I picked that area because one, I'm looking back for clues. I'll draw my line here. You see these wicks poking out. Wicks tells us a story. Wicks tells us that either buyers or sellers do not have enough momentum to continue. In this case, buyers didn't have enough momentum. And so before the day was over, sellers took dominion over that area and continued to go down in a downtrend. So when it hit this level, it went not only down for a pullback, but it actually hit a downtrend for months to come. So I can say that if price reaches this area, I can predict that price will then start a downtrend. So not only pull back, but begin a downtrend in which people like to sometimes position trade, in which you're trading for months and sometimes years for maximum profit. So this will be my area for a downtrend if I decide to go that long. But in the meantime, it's wise to set an alert. So when price hits close to that area, you can determine and analyze your chart to figure out which way you want to trade. Okay, so we talked about the 3 different types of pullbacks. We talked about how to draw your trend line to help with trapping price. And now we want to draw our support and resistance line. So we kind of gone there a little bit. Here's our resistance area here, in which this is going to become the beginning of our trend. We drew this area here, which showed us major reversal levels. Okay, so this is part of trapping price. So we have price all in between these 2 red lines. All right, so drawing our support and resistance level, our support and resistance level is highly key to becoming a successful trader. You need to understand where price is going. Okay, so price is there. We determine that price can come down here or down here. More than likely just in this red area here, this first area here, because where the trend line is, if I draw a line there wasn't much movement here. So we do see some wicks in between this area. We see wicks poking within this area. So we trapped price between these 2 red lines. And remember, like I said, wicks tells us a story that in this case, buyers lose momentum and sellers take over. So as price come and approach our first support area, it can very well break through in this area where we see a lot of activity at, and then push to the upside. Price goes back up and push beyond this, we can now feel safe that price can hit this area at the top or this resistance area and then start making its way down. All right, so go ahead and take a look, take a snapshot and take notes. This is highly important in becoming a successful trader. So like I said, number 1, trapping price is our goal to becoming a successful trader. If you can trap price from every angle, in this case, our trend line, we're trapping price from the bottom. Our support line, we're trapping price from the bottom as well. Our resistance from the top. And our trend line is actually trapping price from the bottom and the side. So when we trap price, we can easily identify where price will be heading. So please, guys, subscribe, hit the link and the notification bell so that you can help with the algorithm. And we thank you for watching. And if you have questions and you want to have mentorship or even join our academy, look at our description below, and we'd love to have that. In the meantime, have a good day. Take care.